Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classic. This episode number 1397, 1291. Now you're probably thinking, wait, where's your anime review you said you was going to do? Well, I was watching Doctor Who, so watch it tomorrow. Despite the fact I got $70 students tomorrow, but yeah, shouldn't be that much time to watch these episodes. It's only 4. Yeah, I'm only planning on watching 4 for the start of this particular anime review series, but I'm not going to talk about this one. It's all about graphic novels, this one. Alright, first up is the end of an ongoing series, and pretty much the end of most of this guy's work for Marvel. And you're probably thinking, really? You viewed almost this guy's work for Marvel Comics? Yeah, it's indeed true. We have Secret Warriors, Volume 2, If Trouble Must Come. This collects issues of Secret Warriors Volume 2, issues 6 to 12 by Matthew Rosenberg. Yep, with this is wrapping up pretty much most of this guy's work for Marvel Comics. You're probably thinking, really? Yeah, really. I have reviewed almost everything this guy has done for Marvel Comics. The only things I can think of that are left to go for Marvel Comics that he has basically written is Civil War II Kingpin. I've read all these books, but I haven't read it. Civil War II Kingpin, the Wolverine Blood, White, and Black miniseries. You want some short story for this one. And Carnage, Blood, White, and Black. This is actually, from what I can tell, the last of the ongoing series review. For now, who knows, he might get another series down the road. Yes. Now, this one kind of continues, like, this is in the aftermath of Secret Empire. Now, the Secret Warriors, they're not really called that here. Yeah, that's something interesting, though. You read this whole run, and they're never once ever referred to as Secret Warriors. Simply put, are they going with Mr. Hyde? No, they're not going with Mr. Hyde. That's what they fought in the last volume. This one, they're after Mr. Sinister. Why? Because they kidnapped Dante's niece. And when he sees the Inhumans again, I think it's Grid and I think it's Gaja, I think her name is. They actually don't really care to talk to Dante. Why? Because from their point of view, Dante abandoned them. Despite the fact he came back. He tries to. But this is the way Matthew Rosenberg writes characters who are created by Charles Shaw. So, they also basically, the main plot of this one is they go look for missing children. Inhuman children taken by Mr. Sinister and his goons. Anybody thinking, okay, Mr. Sinister, okay, where are the Marauders? They are nowhere to be seen in this. Because that's what you think of when you think of Mr. Sinister. You usually think of, who are usually his hired guns? The Marauders. And they're nowhere to be seen. As a matter of fact, not even mentioned here. So, with the help of Magic of the X-Men, yes, Magic of the X-Men is here. They teleport around. They find the kidnapped. They're basically mostly they're finding the Dante's kidnapped niece. They do find her. Dante does reunite with her eventually, and of course, you also have a subplot with Karnak. Yes, Karnak, who, get this, is the only remaining member of the royal family still on Earth. All the rest went to outer space. Yep, that happened in the pages of the Royals. Yep, believe it or not, this is actually one of the 3 Inhumans ongoing series titles published during this period of time, along with the Royals and Black Bolt. Yeah, Karnak had a series, but Marvel half the time didn't want to bother to release the damn book. It took over a year to release 6 freaking issues. I might eventually review that, because it's a pretty good series. It's just that the only problem with it is, it took too long. I will eventually talk about this one, how stupid the release schedule for this one was. But, so, Karnak gets to work with Athura, who is Black Bolt Medusa's son. Yeah, he goes work for his company, and eventually one of the things he finds out, though, one of his board members has been laundering money in the Cayman Islands, so he gets arrested, and then he finds out various other things to save the company. He hands out to Luna, and then Luna hands back off to Athura. Yes, Luna, aka Moon Girl. Now, Dante, of course, at one point ends up in Luna's house, and he's like, wait, do I get a chance to meet Moon Mom? Yeah, the thing about Moon Mom is she's married. Yep. So, oh yeah, and there's the wild claim that she is the smartest person in the world, despite the fact, according to many readers, it is in fact Reed Richards, not this little girl. She just claims to be that. By the way, this actually is straightened out in the pages of her own solo title. Yeah, that's something interesting though about this book. Only 2 characters actually have ongoing series. Miss Marvel her appearance in this book is she's barely there. Yeah, she's most like a supporting character in the series. Mostly put in these issues, who are the starring characters? Quake, Moon Girl, Dante. Let's see, Karnak. Yes, Karnak is a member of this group. And there's nothing with Hydra in here. And, well, then of course at one point he teams up with Miss Sinister in order to save his niece. And, well, is that... Oh yeah, by the way, Dark Beast shows up here. Yes, Dark Beast. A character who's supposed to be dead. Yeah, he died originally in the pages of Brian Michael Bendis' Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, he died just prior to the whole renumbering thing. Yeah, why Dark Beast is here? Because he's working with Miss Sinister for some reason. There's also the whole thing of the two McCoys. There are technically 3 at this point, because you have Dark Beast, you have Regular Beast, and you have Teen Beast. Why the heck is Matthew Rosenberg forgetting about Teen Beast? I don't know. It's one of the most strangest things here. And of course, they track down Miss Sinister. He, of course, gets away at the very end of the story. Because, of course, he does. And of course, because, well, Dante worked with Mr. Sinister, he is banished from New Atalan, along with Karnak. And, well, issue 11 kind of wraps up pretty much most of the story for the series. 12 is just an epilogue. That's really all it is. Also hints at a possible romance between Daisy Johnson and Dante. This, from her perspective, will be the first person she's involved with since the character Hellfire from the previous fight for Secret Warriors. Oh yeah, and if you're curious though, since it's been 4 years, has this been followed up with any book? No. Because Daisy Johnson, I don't think has even appeared since the series ended. Yep. But this book is actually pretty good. I like it. It's pure fun, enjoyment, and, well, pretty good book. This book, a 9.5 out of 10. There's also funny stuff in here with Devil Dinosaur, which I thought was so hilarious. Alright. Final thoughts on this very brief series. Well, this one anyways, and overall for Secret Warriors. Excuse me. The first volume is fantastic by John Hickman. This book is actually pretty good. I was actually a little surprised a few years ago when they decided to bring back the series for Secret Empire, and then they ended the series after 12 issues. According to Rosenberg, yeah, by the way, there's actually a couple brief issues in here where Quake tries to kill Deadpool for killing Phil Coulson. Which, that's great, the fact we actually mentioned something that happened just prior to Secret Empire. By the way, Phil Coulson apparently been killed by Deadpool is apparently ignored by other writers, despite the fact this is done by Gary Duggan. Yep, Gary Duggan was the one who basically wrote the story of the death of Phil Coulson. He somehow got brought back to life. He has burned his Captain America trading cards, and he hates superheroes now. Yeah, it's what happened. It's what happening in Jason Aaron's Avengers book. I'm not really a big fan of it. But what happened to most of these characters once the series ended? Well, of course, Miss Marvel will, of course, still continue to put her own solo book up until it ended just recently, and, of course, appearing in Champions. Magic, of course, will still be involved with the X-Men. I believe her most recent book she appeared in was actually pages of New Mutants. Moon Girl herself will still have her own solo title that ended issue 50. That ended about a couple years ago, I think it was. Yes. Karnak, as far as I can tell, hasn't done really much of anything at all. And as for the rest of the characters, well, some of these characters, well, when the Inhumans got moved to, I think it was just some colony on the moon, in the pages of Inhuman Judgment Day, which was done by Al Ewing, and then like Death in Humans had, where almost all the humans are dead, at least a lot of them, anyways. Yeah, I think that Marvel basically, now here's the thing: the Inhumans been downplayed in the last few years for good reason, because a lot of people really didn't like the forced push that the Inhumans got from, I would say, from 2013 to 2017. People hated this push. And people hated the fact that the X-Men and Fantastic Four were being punished for Fox because of the blood feud at the time between Marvel Comics and Fox. Yeah, that was the simple reason for it. And this book, well, once this book ended up with the Royals and Black Bolt, then came Death of Humans, and that's pretty much been it for Inhumans. Yeah, they have done virtually nothing since Death of Humans. Yeah, since Andy Kill was spit. And the story felt like it was very rushed, Death of Humans. But that's something interesting, though. Aside from Magic, Miss Marvel, and of course, Moon Girl, aside from these three characters, a lot of these characters have really not done much of anything since the series ended. The Secret Warriors themselves, well, they've disbanded once the series ended. And it's almost like this is mostly ignored by their writers. I don't think it's a terrible book. No, I don't think it is. And with this, pretty much, I'm pretty much done with a majority of Matthew Rosenberg's work for Marvel Comics. I mean, all that's left is just a few miniseries. That's it. Because as far as I can tell, I pretty much reviewed almost everything for the guy. Let's see if there's anything left here. Let's see. I don't think there's many left. Well, yeah, not much left for him. Let's see. Okay, there is still King and Black Thunderbolts, U.S. Agent, and let's see. I don't think there's that much stuff left for him. Let's see. Okay, this might be able to help me. So mostly, I would say just a couple of miniseries, I'd say, that are left to go for him. Yes. So, well, this Secret Wars Journal, that's just probably just a one-shot. But, let's see. You have Civil War II Kingpin. You have that. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking up right now on the Marvel site, like, what else is left to go. Oh, yeah. Ultraman. Can't forget that. Yeah, that's another book I haven't covered yet. Let's see. Marvel 20th Anniversary. There was actually you did for that. The Marvel X-Men Holiday Special. Let's see. Was there anything else? I'm looking. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Dark Temple, Annihilation Scourge. I think maybe a story for Incoming. Wolverine Black, White, and Blood. Thunderbolts, and that's it. Yeah, it looks like mostly it's a bunch of miniseries. From what I can tell. Yeah, just a bunch of miniseries. Yeah, nothing really ongoing, but mostly like a lot of miniseries and a handful of one-shots. But anybody could definitely say I've covered the majority of everything the guy has done for Marvel Comics since he started working for the company 6 years ago. Moving on to a different book. Yeah, this is a crossover. I never thought I would actually review this book, but I loved this series when it came out not too long ago, actually. And I was kind of surprised this was a mini. And by the way, this actually got a follow-up. Though it's basically, I think it's called Shadow Batman. This was the Batman / the Shadow Murder Games. Yep. Murder Ghosts, excuse me. Yeah, this is written by Scott Snyder and Steve Orlando. Yes, this is actually quite interesting, though. Because I believe this came out when, let's see, how long ago was this one? 2018. So, yeah, this came out, I would probably say, just around the same time he was working on Justice League. That's what I can tell anyways. Now, mostly put, yes, it's a crossover between Batman and the Shadow, which is interesting. I mean, technically not the first time these two have teamed up, because they did do a team up back in the 70s. I'm hoping in the second miniseries trade, which, by the way, there's a published one. Excuse me. Where they collect the 2 issues of Batman they did do a rare team up for. Now, mostly put this one, basically, when Batman first meets you, doesn't know specifically who he is, but apparently he's familiar with him, but he's never met him before. Oh, and by the way, if you're curious about the Batman costume, yeah, that's the Rebirth costume. Prior to, well, Ted Comics 1000, when it came back to Black Trunks. Yeah, this is the costume that Greg Capullo gave him. Yes, Greg Capullo. Not the current costume we got the Black Trunks skin. And here's the thing. The artwork, the interior artwork is done by Riley Russo, who also does this cover art here and the original series covers. Yeah. We also have Henry Descartes in here, which is really nice. He pretty much is still basically the guy who trained Batman, obviously. And apparently he also trained the Shadow. We also have Margot Lane pop up in here, who is an old lady, which makes sense because she was operating back in the 30s, so obviously she would basically be still old. And the Shadow himself, apparently, according to Margot Lane, the reason why he looks the same as he did back in the 30s was because his hate for crime kept him young. Okay. And mostly put, they team up to take on the Joker. Yes, the Joker pops up in here because, of course, the Joker pops up in a lot of Batman crossovers. Oh, gotta love the fact that Scott Snyder had Batman use the logo from his run for the book. Yeah, it's basically the Joker and character known as the Stag. I think he's the only name of the Shadow. I've read a good chunk of Shadow comics, but I don't remember a lot of the Shadow's villains per se. I know one of his villains is Chinese, but aside from that, I mean, I love the Shadow, but I don't remember all the villains. I mean, I know who Margot Lane is. Yeah, she's been a confidant of his for years, and it's been heavily rumored these two were a couple. And also during this book, apparently Batman finds that, well, Lamont Cranston, that's the Shadow's real name, apparently killed his own descendant. And it turns out, nope, he didn't kill him. But that plot thread is not resolved here. We gotta do the follow-up miniseries for that. But this miniseries is so good, I thoroughly enjoy reading it. Though, basically, Batman does stuff in here that he doesn't do in the main regular Batman universe. For instance, having the Batcomputer talk to him. Yeah, that's something that does not happen in the regular Batman continuity. Nope. Oh, and by the way, aside from Batman appearing here, who for the Bat book pops up in here? Well, we have Duke Thomas. Yes, Duke Thomas makes a cameo, which that's surprising. We also have cameos by Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, and Poison Ivy. Do they do anything? No, not really. It's mostly like this book, in a way, the way it's treated. It's like Batman team with the Shadow, and a lot of areas are related to Batman's treated as supporting characters. Now, in the case of Alfred, does he appear in here? Yes, he does. As regular Batman supporting character. I appreciate, though, the fact that Scott Snyder writes Batman pretty much in character how he would write him. But mostly put this is an out-of-universe miniseries because it's a crossover. DC has the same attitude toward intercompany crossovers that Marvel does. Where if they cross their company, they generally don't consider them canon to the universe. I'm sure the other company does. Like IDW, for example. And Image does this too, where whenever one of their characters crossover, let's say we had, like, I think it was like Savage Dragon and Superman. Savage Dragon perspective, that one shot's canon. It's kind of the same thing with the Batman Spawn one shots. Those are canon to Spawn, but not canon to Batman. And also kind of the same thing with New Transformers / New Avengers, where that's canon to Transformers, but not canon to New Avengers. Yeah. But this book is really good. Give this book roughly a 9. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because it's just really good. I love the freaking Shadow. It's so freaking awesome. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I'm going to do one more video tonight, and that'll be it for tonight's videos, okay? See you next video. Bye.